of you to this second half of the first day, the 5 days program on communication skills. And as I mentioned in the morning, we are having a very interesting session on reading skills. As teachers and as students, and otherwise in the life also, reading should become a very important and integral part of your daily routine. If you want to really improve in your GD, in your interviews, especially the students I'm addressing now at the moment, if you are not a good reader, especially the newspapers, you will be lagging behind. That makes you aware about what is happening around us. And as teachers, how effectively we are able to read. That is the point. Many times we read, there are different kinds of reading, and sometimes we miss out very important things. Sometimes we land up reading the material which we don't intend to spend a lot of time. Reading is a time investment, and if you are not very judicious in your reading habits, you may land up like watching a movie which you don't like. So you must know that you must review the film before you spend your 2.5 hours to 3 hours time on watching a movie, whether it is matching as per your taste and interest, and whether it will be useful to you or no. Then only you should invest that 3 hours time in watching the movie. Similarly, when you are reading, you should be very selective. And how to make your reading habits more effective, how to be a good reader, is an important aspect of communication. As I mentioned, in the verbal communication, we are having listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Reading is another important component. In the morning, we have covered the speaking part, largely the oral communication. Tomorrow again, we are going to have a session on that, day for tomorrow rather, Wednesday morning. But then in this session on reading skills, we are having with us Madam Konica Mehta. Let me give you a brief introduction about Madam Konica Mehta. She is an experienced teacher and very competent in increasing the highly stimulating learning environment. You will just now realize how much stimulating environment she creates in her classes. A facilitator and trainer with a diverse background in training, mastered optimizing training in multicultural settings via the innovative integration of multimedia, the sharing of ideas, and by providing a framework that inspires skill development in the learners of all ages and backgrounds. She has 3 years experience in soft skills and personality development training programs. And she has spent 1.5, that is 1.5 years time in the corporate sector also. So she has experience on both the sides, academic as well as industry also. Let me give you a brief about her experience. She has taken various ICT and non-ICT based programs. She has been regular faculty invited in our institute, many programs on communication skills and personality development topics. Presently working with the Regional Institute of English in Chandigarh in Sector 32. This institute is one of the pioneers in the area of improving the English communication skills of the teachers in the schools and colleges. And recently I understand they have also taken up projects to train the students in the slum areas also. They are doing a great job. This is a government institute, Regional Institute of English. She is presently working there from July 2011 as a personal development and communicator skills trainer. She has worked with Secure Line Private Limited as Assistant Zonal Manager from February 11 to July 11. Worked with Akash Institute Private Limited as a counselor from October 2009 to March 2010. Worked with Bank of America Gurgaon as a team member in the text chat process from June 2008 to December 2008. Our areas of expertise are personality development, communication skills, interview etiquettes, leadership skills, presentation skills, rapport building. And I understand that since we know each other now for a pretty long time, that she can very easily develop rapport with her audience, which is very important in the communication. A word about her educational background. I would like each one of you to join your hands and give her a round of applause. She has done a proud for the country by standing A grade in TEFL course from American TECOL Institute in Thailand. Very recently, she has acquired this feather in her cap, and International Diploma in Professional Development Training course with a research module from Global Training Academy affiliated with Pebbles University, America. She has done her diploma in guidance and counseling from Punjab University, and then Masters of Business Administration, that is MBA in Human Resources from Punjab Technical University with a very high scores. And she has done her graduation in the area of commerce, Bachelor in Commerce. She's very well conversant with the languages like English, Hindi, and Punjabi. And now I over to Madam Konica Mehta. She is going to engage you in the session. She has brought some videos, again some exercises. You will enjoy the program only when you will participate in the exercises very actively. And you will learn only, the skills can be learned only by practice. Over to Madam Mehta.
I welcome you all for today's session. And post-lunch session, I know it's like a little bit sleepy, but I'm sure that you'll not feel it in the same during the session, right? Okay. Well, that was such an elaborative introduction about me. Okay, and thank you, sir, for giving it. We'll be starting with reading skills today, and as you all know, that reading is one of the part of communication, without which the entire process of communication is not complete, right? There are 4 parts. Number 1 is listening, then speaking, then writing, and reading. But let me tell you, reading constitutes to about 16% of the entire communication. Okay? So before we move on to the session, let's have some fun. Because it's post-lunch, let's begin with some fun. We'll have a tongue twister with us. Okay? I will be speaking. Let's do the tongue twister, each tongue twister twice. And then there are 2 of them. So we'll be doing it together. Okay? So you need to participate. All of you, just concentrate. Okay? The first one, let's do it together. Okay? Please read with me, right? Teacher, I want to go to the beach. It is my dream to go get some ice cream. Yes,
I want to go to the beach.
Yes.
I'll make you some tea. If you can go to the sea.
Very good. Once again, let's do it together. Teacher, I want to go to the beach. It is my dream to get some ice cream. I repeat, I want to go to the beach. I'll make you some tea if we can go to the sea. Got it? Okay, let's do the other one. Then we do both of them together. Okay. 1, 1. Yes. Loudly. Yes. Yeah. 1, 1
was a race. 2, 2 was 1, 2. 1, 1 race. 2, 2, 1, 1, 2.
Okay, let's do both of them together now. Okay. Yes. Start.
Teacher, I want to go to the beach. It's my dream to get some ice cream. I repeat, I will go to the beach. I'll make you some tea if you can go to the sea.
Okay, hurry up. Next one.
1, 1 was a resource. 2, 2 was 1, 2. 1, 1 was 1 race. 2, 2, 1, 1, 2.
Very good. Clap yourself. Very good. So by this, when I started the session, I told you let's have some fun. There was a smile on the faces of all those who were sleepy. Okay. So, so by this, I mean, a reading is something which has to be performed like a ritual. Okay. When we are doing something wholeheartedly, we participate without, there's a smile on our face. We do it wholeheartedly. We are concentrating on whatever we do. So whenever I make a plan, okay, now it's high time. I have to start reading. There, I need to prepare my mind first. Okay. From today onwards, I'll be going to the library, and let's see what book. What is there for me. Once you get the book for yourself, always remember this one thing. You will not copy somebody else's reading material, right? Whatever suits you, whatever is unique, because every human being is unique. So whatever we pick up from the library, according to our taste, It always gives us a sense of, you feel pleased, you feel happy, you have a smile on the face that, okay, I'm reading something I wanted to read. Okay, so reading as a skill will only develop when you practice it like a ritual. If I take, let's say, 15 minutes a day for reading, I have to make sure no matter what happens at my place, at my workplace, with the colleagues, with the friends, whatever has happened, I will not let that 15 minutes go without reading. Okay, so it is an important ritual that we need to begin now. Okay, as I've told you that there are 4 types of communication. One is writing, reading, speaking, and listening. Out of which 9% is writing, 16% is reading, speaking is 30%, whereas listening is 45%. Now 16% reading, how does it develop? Okay? When we are not even born, our mothers are advised to read. Okay? They are advised to read different material. They are advised to read something which is positive. So there, along with our mothers, we start reading. How? Because you've seen a child respond to some familiar, where there are similar notions, where there are similar music or similar tones, the child responds to it. So the reading begins not only like from once we are there in the world, it begins way beyond or before that. Okay, so it is important to understand what is reading actually. So reading is a complex cognitive process, okay, of decoding symbols. Now, if I go to a place I'm not aware of, okay, I'm going to that place for the first time. I don't know that place. Whatever the language is there, I cannot simply read, okay. So what will I do? I land up at the airport. I don't know where to go. There's a place I'm not aware of. Language I cannot understand. So what will I do? I see the symbols there. Because there are symbols which are common throughout the world. Okay, if you see a symbol like this, it means there is something related to heart. Okay, if you see a symbol like this, there is something related to medical or medicine. Okay, if you see a symbol like arrows, you need to know or you understand that there is certain kind of direction given. But then if you walk into some place and you want to see a mall, a shopping mall, there you can see with the help of symbols. So even if I'm not aware of the language, even if I'm not aware of the place, the things that are happening there, I will decode with the help of symbols. There also reading is happening and it is giving me a meaning. It is giving something to me in return. Alright? Okay. The reading process requires continuous practice, development, and refinement. If I've decided, okay, I'll start with my reading today. Now, it will not only happen once a week or once a month or maybe once a year. It has to happen something like daily, a daily routine. Like we all brush up daily, we all take a shower daily. Similarly, it should come as a daily routine. Alright, once you start doing that, you cannot miss on the particular thing you've started with. Okay? And it will be in your, always start with something positive, like the books known as The Secret or the books that gives you motivation. So once you're motivated, you know how to read, you know how to spend time on reading, you will definitely go to a place and find book for yourself. Whenever you're free, you will pick a hand on your books rather than picking a hand on your mobile. Not do reading one day and then skip it over, and maybe I'll feel like I'll do it sometime else. I have lots of things to be done. I have to go to office, I have to manage my time, but I'll skip on reading, I'll do it later. No. If you've started something, please make sure you end it on a particular piece of time. Okay? For example, our students, they give exams, okay? But if you decide, okay, I will not study for the entire year, what I'll do is I'll just read only a day before the exam. Will I pass? It is very difficult to pass like this. But if I make it a habit, okay, 10 minutes, I'll just revise what has been done in the class so that I'm aware, okay, this has happened in this particular day. So I'll be in a better position to score. Okay? Reading also makes us interact and understand the world around us. Now, in world, there are different countries, there are different cultures. If we talk about only India, it has so many languages, it has so many cultures. It is very difficult to understand if we don't know how to make us familiar with them. So the only way we can start is by reading a book. Okay? If I've made a plan, okay, I'll be moving to a certain place. It's my duty to understand what people like there, what is good for them, what is bad for them, then what are the things I have to keep in mind when I'm talking to those people. Okay? So it helps me to understand the, it opens the bracket, it opens, all those imaginary walls that are there, it kind of breaks them out. Okay? So reading helps. Now, whenever I've decided to read, I need to answer these W5 questions. Okay? The first question will be, what am I reading? Is it important? Will it help me? Or have I picked the correct book? Or if I've started with something, let's say if I have an exam tomorrow, if we talk about students, if I have an exam tomorrow, let's say the exam is of English and I start learning science, will it help? No. So I have to make sure that whatever I've picked up for reading, it should match the information, it should match the purpose for which I am reading. Okay? Next, why am I reading? Is it important? Can I just linger it on? Or it has to be done at that point? If it has to be done at that point, make sure you do it there and then. Right? Next question. What will be the benefit of reading? If I read this, let's say a piece of paper is there, it's a journal, and tomorrow I have to, there is a kind of seminar wherein I have to participate. Will this journal help me with the information I'm looking for? So you need to understand that will it benefit me once I read this. Okay? Next, what information will I get from it? If I'm giving an exam, let's say I'm giving an IIT exam or any competitive exam, there are lots and lots of books. Okay? Reader's Digest, there are a number of India Today, and there are a number of competitive books that are there. I need to find out what am I concentrating on and what kind of paper structure is there so that whatever I'll be reading, the information which I'll be deriving from it, it should solve the purpose I'm reading it for. Okay? Will it justify the purpose of my reading? Will I be able to get what I want? So that's W5 question. Whenever you make a plan, just make it here. A little constant activity should be done immediately. Is this the one? Okay, I'm going to the library. This is the fair. And if you're surprised to know that our moods also, it depends on our mood what kind of book we pick up. Okay? If we are in a good mood, we'll always go to the brighter side of the library. If we are sad and we are gloomy, we'll go to the other pastel side or the subtle side of the library. But if we are happy and if we've met so many people around and we really want to know more about it, so we find books that are related to general knowledge or that are related to the people we are interacting with. So this happens according to the mood as well, right? Okay, next is, if I have something in mind and I've decided to read it, what will happen? It is important if you don't like reading. If, for example, there's a person who doesn't love reading, who wants, okay, somebody to we kind of work towards before exams or before any important issue, we'll try and call somebody, please explain me this, I don't understand this. What are we getting out of it? We're getting somebody else's mind working for us. Don't do that. If you don't like reading, it's always important to accept it and then slowly and steadily start it. It will not happen that I will be reading this book overnight. Okay, I've taken this book, I will read it and I'll show it to my friend. Okay, I've read the entire book in a day. No. If you are happy and comfortable for 5 minutes, do it for 5 minutes. Nobody's forcing you to take it to a stretch it to the overnight. Okay. Next. Commit to the reading goals. 5 minutes a day, like an apple a day keeps doctor away. Similarly, 5 minutes a day makes you a learned person. In 5 minutes, if you open a news channel, what happens? You flip to a news channel, there are 10 top news of the day. If you know 10 top news of the day, you're aware of what's happening in the world. Then tomorrow, maybe when you walk into somebody's friend's house, and there is a discussion over something, oh yes, even I know, I've heard about it. So it makes you well read, it makes you well learned, it makes you well aware of things happening around. Okay? Plan time and space to concentrate. Now I have decided to read. What if I'm expecting guests today, an unwanted guest? What will happen? reading, let it be. I don't want to read because my guests are coming. I have to entertain them. I have to cook for them. I have to prepare so many things for them. I have to clean the house. There are lots and lots of activities being happening at my place. So I skip reading. No, take and make a space for yourself wherein you can just go for 5 minutes or maybe before bed. You can just simply do what you really do every day. So don't skip even for a day. All right. Capture knowledge and connect ideas. If today I've read something in the newspaper, later on, after few days, few months, or a year, there is something similar to it. So I will connect it. Okay, I've read this before. This has happened earlier also. This is the same thing happening. Now, for example, if we say the current situation, the black money which is happening, okay, which is there in the Swiss accounts these days, we all knew that there was money which was there overseas. But now, when it has been highlighted, we can connect. Okay, it happened long ago in 2010. There was lots and lots of money which came, which were there in the Swiss account, but no one was bring it back to our country. So now we can immediately connect. Why? Because we have a prior knowledge. We have set the base. Now it's just we are expanding on it, right? You need to understand that there is certain information which is primary and certain information which is secondary. Primary information is, what is primary information? The first-hand information, where it is original in its form. Whereas secondary, which is worked on the primary information. For example, if I have done a research, which is purely done by me, it's the primary information which I'll be giving. But if somebody works again on it, it will be, okay? Preview and review, whatever you've read. Don't keep, this is a book I'm reading. If this is a book I'm reading, I've read it, no, it's okay, back to the library. I will not see it again. No, once you've read it, kindly note few points. There should be a marker or something where you've highlighted the important information, and then you can review it again and again for your knowledge. Okay. Next is commit to reading goals. That's important. Once you've started, you've decided to read something. Stay positive about it. Okay. I have picked a book. This is my book. I will read it no matter what. I have to be positive enough that okay, if I've I've started it, I'll complete. For example, if you're not well versed with the international authors, what you can start with the author of your own community, of your own surroundings, wherein you can connect easily. So once you start doing that, you'll gradually grasp the habit of reading. Now wherever you'll pick something, you'll read it. Okay, just for enhancing your knowledge. Okay, because it is always said a well-read person is the highly knowledgeable person. All right. Make the author your companion. Now, how will it happen? The author is there in the book. How will he become my companion? Will I kind of hug him and make him sit with me? No. It's an imagination which he creates. For example, if you read Shakespeare, if you've read Shakespeare, through his whatever dramas or through his poems, he kind of create that atmosphere. Similarly, if I picked a book, make sure whatever the author wants to convey, you kind of share, you kind of do an introspection. You can talk to yourself. Okay, this is the maybe it helps. Let me try it. For example, if there is something in The Secret which says, if you say lots and lots of time thank you, you will get more and more reasons to thank. Okay, let's try it. Okay, if I've tried it. Now, wherever I go, whosoever I meet, I'll say thank you for everything. So once you try practicing it, you'll actually, after a certain time, you'll realize that you've got many reasons to thank. Okay? So thank you is one such example. Right? Always practice, always make the author your companion. Right? Place according to the difficulty level. That means start with something which is very easy. But don't begin with something very difficult. If you do that, you will kind of read only for a few days or hours and then you'll skip on it. Alright? Always start with something easy, familiar, and that you enjoy doing. Okay? For example, if I love cooking, I will start with cooking books. Maybe. If I like painting, I'll start with somebody who's a good painter. I'll read about him. How has he transferred those colors into the canvas? What was he trying to do? Alright? Take breaks. Now, don't stretch it for too long. If you've read for 50 minutes, that means just take a break of 10 minutes to cut that monotony. All right. So it's not that whatever you read overnight, you can make a schedule of, okay, if I pick this book, I'll read 10 to 20 minutes. That's it for a day, and then I'll continue tomorrow. I'll first recall whatever I've read, and then I'll start over again. Okay. Read other sources also if assigned reading is confusing. If, for example, we kind of tell our students, you'll not find anything in the Indian author's book. Try to do it from the international one. But what if the level of your student is not such that he doesn't understand the simple language of an international author? So it is always, you should always guide your students or anybody around that please start from somebody who's easy, and then you can add on by reading different authors in the same issue. Okay. Next is keep building your vocabulary. Now, if I've read a line, or if I've read an article, there will be certain words that I'm not familiar with. So what I'll do is I'll kind of write the word. I immediately see the dictionary. I will not keep it pending. Okay, no, I'll see it tomorrow again. No. If you have a word, you come across a word of which you don't know the meaning, it's okay. You check the dictionary, you find the meaning, and then you start using that word in your day-to-day life so that you're familiar with the meaning. Okay. Next is when studying for a test. What do you think can happen if you're reading only for, let's say, a day before the exam? Can you read the entire 400 pages book? Can you read it? What will you do? You will take a 10-year paper or something wherein you find the most common questions. Then of those questions, you will find, okay, this is covered in these chapters, I'll do this. So what are you doing there? You are skimming. This is known as skimming. I'll see what is important, which matches my requirement, and then I'll only read that. It's not important to read the entire book at just an hour before or just a day before my examination. Okay. Then the understanding of material should be important. I mean, whatever you're reading, it should be something which is understandable, not from anywhere else. Now there should be a time and space where you're reading. If I'm in a college or I'm in a crowded place and I want to read, what will I do? I can use my headphones. I can put on a light music that soothes my senses, and then I'm ready to read. For example, if I'm traveling and I don't have a companion with me, what will I do? I'm all alone. Whom should I talk to? So if you're a kind of person who loves reading, you can use your headphones, you can put on an instrumental music which soothes your senses, and then you can start reading, and then you'll realize where the trip went. Okay, when it finished, you won't even realize the trip. All right. Next is find an environment which suits you when you're reading. For example, if I'm there and I have to read something, I don't like the library environment. It's so, it's so silent, and everybody's like they are engrossed into the book. I like a place where there are similar people with similar minds reading something for enjoyment. So what I'll do is I'll go to a certain, let's say, a cafeteria. I will carry my book with a cup of coffee. Why not? If I don't have anybody, I can make the author my companion again. All right. Next. If you must read in a noisy place, then you can use music as the best remedy for it, wherein you cannot go in a place where it is silent or less noisy. You can always take the help of music. Okay. Now schedule. Scheduling is important. Why? Because if you don't see a place which is noiseless, then you can always find a place where nobody interrupts you when you read. For example, people love reading on their couches. People love reading in a quiet room. People love reading when there's nobody at home. And some of them love reading when they are awake at night. They're not kind of sleepy, so they kind of take their books of their choice and they read overnight. Alright? This can be done for planning your time. Next, how to read a primary and secondary source. Material which is written in the original form is known as primary. I've told you, primary is the first-hand information. So those can be our autobiographies. What is autobiography? Story of life of a person written by himself. Yes. So when you read certain things, you kind of get yourself updated on the knowledge about that person. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, they have their autobiographies. If you like that person, or he's your mentor or your inspiration, you love reading about them. Okay. Then speeches. Any speech, for example, the current speech which was given by Obama related to the Haiti, that something was happening there and the US aid was not reaching the place. So he gave a speech telling that every year we send this much as a aid to the US. Okay. Next is research reports. If you find thesis, you've submitted something, you're working on a project, you're doing a PhD, you can find research reports for your knowledge. Alright? Then there are government documents. What do you mean by government documents?
Certain circulars, GOs and all.
And all those bills, whatever are there, are published on the newspaper. If you want to have information on something, you can go through. Alright? Next are scholarly articles. The articles where you find important information related to certain subject. Okay? Next is secondary information. Secondary is nothing. It's like worked on something which has already been worked on. Right? So basically your magazine articles. If you see the journalists, what they do they kind of take the information from the surrounding, they write an article either for the newspaper or for the magazine. But there it becomes secondary because it is the second-hand information. It has been edited and then written on the newspaper or the magazine. Okay. Textbooks, whatever has been revised over the years. 1990, there was a book by Dhamija for English. It has been revised over the years. Now it's the latest edition. What happens? They kind of find the errors, they kind of correct it, find the errors, correct it, add, subtract. So it's the version where you get whatever you're seeking the knowledge for.
And research reports can be secondary also.
Yes, if somebody has already worked on it and you are just kind of seeing certain information about your topic, then yes, it can be. Okay. Now, how will you develop your vocabulary? Vocabulary are the word buildings that you do daily. There's always, if you see an article or even few lines, there will be certain words you're not familiar with. Always make it a habit. You carry a small pocket dictionary, or there are apps on the mobile phones these days. You can go through them, or you can always write on a piece of paper or a small notebook the words you've come across. Go home, check for the meaning, and then try using them in the similar kind of way. For example, if you see Hollywood movies, there are subtitles. Okay, what do you see there? Let's say the word like, people used to say pronunciation of the words, but the word is pronunciation. How do I came to know? I've heard it. I've read it, I found it in the dictionary, I've kind of made sure that I'm pronouncing the word correct. So this is the way I'm building my vocabulary. Then later on, what you'll do is you kind of club words, making one word out of different words. For example, somebody who doesn't believe in God is known as atheist. So I don't have to say that he doesn't believe in God or she doesn't believe in God, but he's a theist. So I've almost cut my speech into one word. So this is the thing reading helps you. Now if you jot down the words, then it's important to find the meaning. Once you know the meaning, you can use them. Then meaningful words, especially the one they are there in the biology. For example, if you're reading something and you have a word, but there is a meaning, a hidden meaning to it. So you should understand, okay, this has been used according to the context of the whatever paragraph or whatever article has been. It's very important. English is such a language where one word can mean different things. For example, if you've seen movie like PK in Hindi, there was a word, although in Hindi, but it had different meanings. But he said, if you use acha, a simple word, Hindi word, if you use acha like this, acha, then you are actually knowing the person whatever he's trying to say. Then if you say acha, that means you are shocked. But if you say acha, then you're kind of dominating. So similarly in this language also, a word can be used in different contexts. So you need to understand whether it's there in the mode of whatever context it's being used. Okay. Then, if you know the words, please try to practice them. Use it in your articles, use it in your papers, use it in your writings, use it in your vocab, use it while speaking so that those words are here, not there. Okay? Next, keys to effective reading. First, I need to understand, can I become an effective? How? Again, because can I pray can be answered by just starting praying to God. Similarly, this can also be answered by following a discipline or whatever subject I've picked up. I will read it no matter what, or whatever hurdles are there, I will surpass them so that I'm able to complete what I was there for. Okay, and it has not to be limited to a fact that okay, I don't like reading. Then chapter closes. No. If I don't like reading, I have to do something about it. Because I, in order to survive in this world, have to be a good reader. If I'm a good reader, then I have the knowledge to stay. Stop reading. So what are the techniques that can be helpful, or the methods that can be helpful while we are reading? So these can be, for example, there are techniques like mapping. Have you seen a map? What is there in the map?
Geographical like boundaries are there.
Yes, you see, sir. If I see a map of India, then I see different states. Then I see states and then rivers or whatever would be there. Everything will be marked on the map. So that technique also helps in reading. Mapping means if I have a central idea, I have something I'm looking for, I will relate it to different material I'm getting. Okay, then to come to that central idea, I will mark how will I start, what book, then what are the words I'm learning, then what information I'm getting, and what will I derive from. So there will be a mapping technique that I'll be following. Okay? So the first technique is mapping. Mapping is, how do we map? We kind of preview the important information. Central idea will be there, and then I'll be concentrating on different things I'll be getting in that portion. For example, if I'm reading about, let's say something has happened in the past or something in history. So my main central idea would be that important thing I'm looking for. What will I do? I will not go back few years to search for information, okay? I cannot go on a time machine and go back. What will I do is, I kind of seek information from internet, then I seek information from libraries, the books are there, and then I will even talk to people who were of those types. Let's suppose if the topic is independence of India, how will I go about it? I know certain people who are aged 100 or 105. I can simply go and talk to them. Or I can read the articles that were written at that time. They are published, there are articles there, then there are books there. So I will kind of draw a map that will lead me to all the information I needed for that particular. Alright? So this is known as mapping. Mapping, why it helps? Because if you know that visual effects are more than the auditory effects. If you just listen to something, it might fade away. But if you see something, then you immediately connect to it. Alright, this is kind of instant or spontaneous kind of reaction which you get. Okay, so 75% of students are visual learners. So, for example, if you take a book where there is no picture, it's only written material. What will you do? All written material I closes and put it back. But if you find a book which has lots of colorful pictures, then you want to read more about it, go about it. Okay, this picture is matching the content. Is it important? Okay, yes, it is important. I'll go further. What else? What else? What else? So I'll be, again, then this is the way I'll be finishing that.
Same thing happens while reading a newspaper.
Yes, same thing happens. There are three parts of newspaper. The main newspaper, supplementary, and there is something which is known as friendly newspaper these days. So what girls will do, girls will pick up a supplementary newspaper to see the lifestyles, okay? To see what's trendy, to see what jewelry is happening or what shopping areas are there. But if we talk about a man of 30 or 40, you see what's happening around, okay, sports or whatever is there in the news or whatever Prime Minister Modi is doing, he'll be more interested into it. He'll be grossed into it.
Maybe grandfather will be more.
Yes, more grandfather would also be interested in what's happening for the country. Okay, if you see a kid will take out that supplement where there are different stories like Disney stories or Archie's or anything which attracts him.
Okay, so cars are there.
Yes, so it depends on the age group. It depends on the content, how they are projected. So this becomes a map where I need to know what I'm taking. Okay. Next, the other thing is KWL chart. The next technique is KWL chart, where something I know is K is whatever I know till now. Okay, if I know something about the chapter, about the subject, this is my knowledge which I know from the years I've studied, from the years I've read so much. Okay, then what I want to know more about it. Okay, for example, the topic is, let's say, if you're reading about the current scenario in fashion. I know girls dress up this way. I know boys dress up this way. But I need to know more about girls dress up. What style suits what kind of structure? What hairstyle is good for a particular face structure? So I kind of find those things where it matches whatever I have the information with. Then L will be your learn, whatever you learn about that subject more. Whatever you've learned from the books, from the newspaper, from the magazine, or from the gossips that are there, wherever you come to a conclusion. Okay, this is now something I know in particular. Okay. Next is, how do I make a KWL? Simply draw 3 lines. Write K, W, L. There are 3 columns. K, whatever you know already. Then W, whatever you want to know. And L will be whatever you've learned from different sources. So this is the way you make your KWL chart. Next technique is SQR3 technique. So this is again similar to both mapping and KWL chart. The only thing is that you read, reread, review, so that you get into a conclusion at the end once you've done it. The purpose of this method is to preview whatever you've read so far, whatever you know so far. So kind of you've grasped something which has already been learned, and then you're reviewing it, going it again and again, so that it's there here. You remember whatever you read. So S is again survey, Q is question, R is read, then reread, review. So these are basically the last are the R3s: read, reread, and review. Alright. What are the different kinds of reading? If I read for pleasure, what kind of reading will it be?
But whatever is happening around us, we will just focus on reading. We are getting pleasure out of that.
Okay, so what do you term that thing as? Okay, entertainment. So what kind of reading it will be? Intensive or extensive? If I'm reading something
Intensive.
Expensive.
Yes, because it will be something of which I'm getting pleasure. I'm reading only for entertainment. For example, if there's a joke, okay, I will not go into deep where has the ant gone or where has the elephant gone. I'll simply read the joke for my happiness, correct? For laughter. So there I'm doing extensive reading. Okay? The first type of reading is when I do it for pleasure. So that's known as extensive reading. Extensive reading is basically to relax, to enjoy whatever you're reading. So it can be anything comic, it can be anything humorous, it can be something related to stories, your tales, your novels, your short stories, the newspaper articles like jokes and other forms of light reading. Wherever I find pleasure in reading that. So that is extensive because you don't go deeper into it. Alright? Intensive reading is in-depth reading. If I've taken a topic, I'll go into deep till the time I understand what the author or what is there in that particular topic or the subject. Okay? Research is not, yes. You read for details and extract information on particular topic. So whatever is the topic, you need to extract whatever you can out of it. So this is an intensive technique of reading or kind of reading. So for example, your report, your research papers, if you're doing your thesis, you've seen different authors written different things, you will read it because you need to go to in-depth knowledge about that subject. Alright? So how are the reading techniques or the sub kind of reading that you do for intensive reading? Number one is scanning. How do you scan? Have you seen a scanner working?
Superficial.
Okay. Or what does a scanner do? Can you answer? What does a scanner do? The software
So
is
it
there
takes
and-
the image.
Okay.
Just an image of.
So scanner basically sees it's kind of rolls the eyes quickly. Similarly, if I have something in front, I'll just see. Okay, this is there. So that's scanning. Where I have just seen some important information, some keywords, something which is important. I've seen it. That we do generally before examinations. We kind of scan the information and just try to keep it for the exam, right? Okay. For research, for review, or getting into wherein we get the answer of how it has been done, or where happened, or what's important, what's not important, or how to do it, when to do it. So that's scan. Okay. Looking for a word meaning in the dictionary. How do you look for a word in a dictionary? If this is a dictionary, I will see, okay, letter A, then the letter, next letter, then again I'll find the meaning, then I'll see, okay, this is the meaning, I'll write it. So this is the way you kind of scan. Okay. Next is skimming. What is the difference between scanning and skimming?
Skimming is taking the extract out.
Feel something.
Personally,
Personally,
you
read
just-
something.
Gist of something.
Okay, yes, wherein you focus on, let's say if there's a paragraph, you focus on the topic, the first line, the first paragraph, then the important information where I can understand, okay, this has been talked about in the article or entire passage. Okay, so it's like reading on the title, the heading, the topic, then the signpost to get a main idea of what has happened. Effectively, it's like if you see a reading passage, if it is like there are certain signposts wherein one leads to the other. So there you kind of sift the important information from it. All right. Effectively,
Like we have sign like this in many books which
Yes,
say that it's
yes.
important.
if you make a presentation, you use those signs, the kind of bullets and all, to make it important and less important. So those are those signs. Okay. Effective preliminary step to reading through, skimming, and quickly back to the details where you need to read immediately. Wherein you need to just make an idea first and then you read it again. So that is skimming. So this is the way skimming is different from scanning. Scanning, you will only concentrate on the words and important information. Skimming, you will see the heading, you see the topic, you see the sentences, and then from the main idea you come back, read it again to get the complete idea.
Relevant information.
Yes, relevant, sifting the relevant from the irrelevant, basically you do in scan. Okay. Now skimming steps. Preview the text by reading the title and the introduction. Usually the intro in the thesis statement. For example, when you read something, you see a title. Okay, this was something I wanted to read. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just preview that. Okay, I want this information. I'll read it. I'll keep it in mind, and then I'll relate later on. Okay, check if there are headings and subheadings. If there will be a big heading, the main heading, and there will be certain subheadings that I need to keep it. Okay. Then read the first paragraph, the first sentences, of which I'll get an idea whether it's something going in a positive notion, in a negative one, or what kind of mood the author is trying to create. So there I'll prepare myself according to that. Okay. Then quickly check keywords in the paragraph. Keywords are the important words, which you cannot miss. Something which is underlined, something which is highlighted, something which is there in the italics. So those are the keywords. Okay. Read the last paragraph. Usually, last paragraph summarizes the entire thing. If you see a book, how do you select a book? At the back, if you see there's a small paragraph, which gives you a gist of whatever book it is all about. So you get an idea, okay, this book is about this thing. Okay, I wanted this book to read, I will buy this book to read. Or I'll take this book for reading. Okay? Next is read the paragraph. Usually, if you feel the paragraph contains important information that answers what, why, how, who, and why to read it, then you will always concentrate on that paragraph the most. Why? Because if you see a chapter, if there's a chapter in a book, what do you see is there are certain important information, key points. If you know those key points, you are able to understand the entire chapter. This is the way you will feel. Next is exploratory reading. What do you mean by exploratory? It's there in the word itself. What is exploration?
Explore something. Like
Mhm.
research is research.
Okay. What else? What else do you see?
Some new idea we get out of that.
Yes.
Whatever the
Because-
author has
Become
conveyed.
logical after reading
Yes.
it.
Once we started reading, we want to explore more. We want the main idea of it. We want the entire information on it. So we are expanding on it. So that's exploratory reading. Aim to fairly get an accurate picture of whole presentation of idea, how the whole selection is presented. Okay, a lot more time for reading because you need more time to get all the information. Then long articles, short stories, or descriptive text all need time to read. Okay, there you cannot simply just go through a skimming or scanning process. Okay, next, critical thinking or critical reading. What do you mean by critical reading?
Where the author also puts his or her own viewpoint that what is lacking, what is good, and what is bad.
Do you think psychologists do that? Critical thinking.
Critically, they evaluate. Yes,
Okay.
they evaluate critically.
Because maybe there's a case. What will I do to know if my patient is going through certain thing? I will have to do the critical in-depth
Analysis.
thing. Yes, in depth. I need the in-depth knowledge about it. I need to read the entire information
Sure.
because if I miss on something, maybe that
Maybe
will hamper
that
the patient that's there. Right? So critical is like when you question, you analyze and evaluate the text. Use critical thinking skills to differentiate best fact or opinion. Okay, recognize author's purpose. If somebody has written something, they've given you the information, you will critically think. You'll apply your brain in making what tone is he writing? Why is he writing it? Okay, what does he want us to understand out? So this gives you help to make an imaginary picture of whatever he's trying to give out of it. Okay. Next is analytical reading. Analytical reading means where we analyze. Where, for example, if I have to solve an arithmetic question, what will I do? I need to know the formulas, and if I'm aware of
Every
the
step of it.
yes, every step of it. For example, if I'm doing the lab experiment, then every step has to be followed for that experiment to be successful. Okay, so this is very important when it comes to reading analytically. Okay. Now, points to remember for effective reading. What are the major things that you need to do? So I call it a finger method. Before I do it, let's connect to one of the institute and let's practice it together. Connecting to
मैम JCDM से कर लेते
JC.
DM सिरसा
Okay, JCDM Sirsa College. They're there.
यस मैम
Can anyone come in front?
Yes, JCDM, the College of Engineering, Sirsa. Would you like to do small exercise with you? Are you able to hear us? आपको हमारी आवाज आ रही है?
सर इन बोली माइक ऑन कर लेंगे
अपना माइक ऑन करिए मैम. And kindly respond back.
सर मुझे वो माइक नहीं रखना जो ऑपरेट कर रहा है वहां से माइक ऑन नहीं करना है.
मैम एक्सटर्नल माइक ऑन कर लीजिए
मैडम अपना एक्सटर्नल माइक जो है उसको ऑन कर लीजिए. आपके हाथ में जो माइक है इसको ऑन करिए.
हेलो
हाँ जी, आपको हमारी आवाज आ रही है? अभी हमें आपकी आवाज आ रही है. क्लियर. आप हमारे को सुन पा रहे हैं?
यस सर वी कैन हियर यू
ओके.
Alright, let's do this small activity for which all of the audience as well as you there and the other participants also will raise their right hand. They raise their right hand. Everyone, please raise your right hand. Okay? Raise your right hand. Just close it. Just make it.
सिरसा में आप लोग भी अपना राइट हैंड रेज करिए. सिरसा, all other centers also please raise your right hand.
Everybody.
अपना हाथ को ऊपर उठाइए.
Right hand.
Right hand, yes. Yes. Everybody, every participant. Only one madam has raised her. Yes.
Yes. And just close it like this. Yes.
और ऊपर से रिस्ट मुट्ठी को बंद करिए.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Everyone who are not doing, I can see you.
Yes. सिरसा में आपको मैडम मैम with a pink suit. Ma'am with a pink suit, please raise your hand and मैडम अपना हाथ ऊपर करिए. हाँ.
Yes. Just close it like this. Yes. Everybody.
And just fasten your wrist, I would say.
Yeah.
अपनी मुट्ठी को बंद करिए, please.
Okay. Let's do the small exercise. Okay. Just repeat after me and keep on raising one finger after the other. Okay. The first finger says, "Get the book that's easy to read." Please repeat after me. Get the book that's easy to read. Get the book that's easy to read. Get a timer.
Second.
Second is get a timer. Set it for 15 minutes. Only 15 minutes. Okay. Third, read as far as you can. Use your fingers. Read as far as you can. Use your fingers. Fourth, close the book. Close the book. Count the pages read. Count the pages read. Next is paraphrase out loud. Paraphrase out loud whatever you read. Okay, very good. Clap for yourself. Okay, let's repeat again, but without the fingers now. Alright? Get the book that's easy to read.
Get the book that is easy to read.
Get a timer.
Get a timer.
Read as fast as you can.
Read as fast as you can.
Close the book.
Close the book.
Paraphrase out loud.
Paraphrase out loud.
So this, if you see, there's a word written repeat. So you have to repeat it every time you start your reading. Okay? So these 5 things will help you read and remember whatever you've read. Okay? Now, 10 tips to improve your reading comprehension. How will you improve it? Can you read without pen or pencil? Can you read without a pen or pencil?
Yes.
Until and unless we underline or jot down something, we can't read.
Yes. If we are reading something, pen or pencil is important. You have to keep it handy. Why? Because there and then you need to mark whatever you've come across, which is new to your knowledge. Okay? Next is read the whole paragraph and then before underlining or highlighting the statement. Maybe if I'm in a habit of just underlining, I'll start from the first sentence. No, don't do it. First read the entire passage, the entire paragraph, then underline what is important. Okay? Don't simply underline everything which is there. Okay, if the answer says everything is, the whole book will be underlined there. Okay? Engage your senses by reading out loud. People say that it is important to read in a library because you find a quiet place. I believe if you read and talk it out loud, you'll remember more because all the senses will be actively involved. Okay? If I say A for apple, I will remember it. But if I only see the picture of apple, I won't. Alright? So next is mark a check on the margin. If you've read something, later on, if you refer the book, if it's your book, see, don't do it on the library book, but if it's your book, you can just put a check on it. That, okay, I've read it, and this particular paragraph or page gives me this information. So later on, whenever I have to refer, I simply take out that page and I will just read. Okay? That will save your time. Explain what have you read. Now what happens? If I'm only the reader, why will I explain to anybody, or how will I explain it to myself? Yes, you can. See, if you are there and present, there will be imaginary picture around you. Whatever you've read, just try to explain it to the other person. If you are able to explain it to the next person, you have done it 100%. For example, if I've read something about, let's say, a particular food item, I've read about it. Okay, this. What I'll do is, when I'm preparing that food item, I will kind of recall everything. If I recall everything and I say it loud, I will remember it always. This happens when people talk loud, they kind of refer it again and again.
Conceptualization will be clear.
Yes, conceptualization.
In fact, actual learning start taking place when you start explaining it to others.
Yes, to yourself first and then to others. Don't simply go and explain it to others first and then explain it to yourself. Okay? Then pay attention to the table of content in order to make a choice of things you want to read. Now there's an index. If you see a book or anything, there's an index. You need to see what information you're getting from what part of the book. So don't read the entire book. For the sake of reading, just concentrate on whatever is important and read only that part. Okay? Pay attention to the summary words like therefore, as a result, or in conclusion. So what happens if you know that the author is trying to conclude here, or through these words you'll come to know, okay, now it's the end of the entire story. Okay, this is the gist of it. If I know the gist of it, I'll be motivated to read the entire 200 pages. If I love it, I will read it. Okay. Next is use highlighters or underline or circle the phrases in the book. Now, word and phrases are different. Words are only one word. Phrases is a group of words which gives you a meaning. Okay. For example, in the sea, if I'm reading something related to water, if I'm reading something related to color blue, in the sea will immediately create that picture. Okay, the water is blue. So these phrases will help me in kind of connecting the ideas to whatever I'm reading. Okay. Then mark the words you don't know to enhance your vocabulary. If you don't know a word, it's okay. You mark it there. Then you refer the dictionary and then try to use them in your daily routine so that your vocabulary is enhanced. Okay. Next, learn and revise the ways to read effectively. If today my reading habit is such, maybe tomorrow it will not be the same. There will be factors that will hamper me reading the same. Maybe my eyesight weakens later on, or maybe I'm not able to concentrate for long hours. So I need to change according to the purpose. I need to change according to the current scenario. So I have to know whatever other reading styles I can follow. Okay? Okay, now we'll be taking up an activity where I will be showing you a passage. There is a complete passage. You read it, and there, based on it, you'll be answering a few questions. And those questions will carry 1 mark each. Alright, so let's see who are the winners. Okay, so everyone, please see your screen for the passage. I'll be giving, there are 2 slides of it. I'll be giving 2 to 3 minutes for each slide. Read the passage carefully and then we'll answer the question later. Okay, okay, the first slide of the passage. Can you read it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please read the passage. Start reading from the first slide, and then I'll move it to the other. The topic is flower power. Flowers, we all love them, so the topic is same or similar. Okay. Is it beautiful? Yeah. Can we connect to one of the center?
Yes.
Can anyone read for everybody?
Ma'am, RIET Ajmer, Jaipur. Ma'am, Rajasthan Institute of Engineering and Technology.
Okay. Just connect to that.
Yes, RIET Ajmer, sorry, Jaipur.
Can anyone volunteer for reading this entire passage for us? Can anyone volunteer?
Yes, sir, come near to the system and then read it out for us? Hello, Rajasthan Institute of Engineering and Technology. Yes, sir.
We are seeking for लड़कियां जो आपकी स्क्रीन पे पावर पॉइंट दिखाई दे रही है उसको देख के रीड हेलो पढ़ना शुरू करिए हेलो गुड आफ्टरनून हाँ जी पढ़िए इसको when our grandmothers have began to deteriorate hello yes
please read it.
when our grandmothers have begun to deteriorate in the fall of 1994 many would make the drive from possibly Manchester then every few days she hated highway travel finding it ugly and monotonous she preferred to take mainly back roads to her grandmother's hospital. Then she drove through the town of Harper's Ferry. The beauty of the rough waters chilling at the intersection of the Snato and Potomac rivers always kept it very calm. Toward the end of her journey, Mary had to get on highway 81. It was here that she discovered a surprising bit of beauty during one of her trips. Along the median of the highway, there was a long stretch of white flowers. They were thin and delicate and purple and swayed in the wind as if whispering words to each other. The first time she saw the flowers, Mary was seized by an uncontrollable rush to pull over on the highway and yank a bunch from the soil. She carried them into her grandmother's room. When she arrived at the hospital, it's just so that the last slide is not visible.
Sir, if you cover this mic with your hand, then we can hear you more clearly.
The last slide is not visible. She arrives at the hospital. She arrived at the hospital and after that it's not visible.
सर अगर आप F11 प्रेस करेंगे तो बड़ी हो जाएगी स्क्रीन थोड़ी.
F11 and place them in a water pitcher by her bed.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name?
आपका नाम क्या है? Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, now one from the audience can read the other slide. Okay, who will volunteer from the audience?
From the audience in the
Yes,
studio.
please come.
Pramod ma'am.
Please say your name and this. I am Pramod. For a moment, her grandmother seemed more lucid than usual. She thanked Mary for the flowers, commented on their beauty, and asked where she had gotten them. Mary was overjoyed by the ability of the flowers to wake something up inside her ailing grandmother. Afterwards, Mary began carrying scissors in the car during her trips to visit her grandmother. She would quickly glide onto the shoulder, jump out of the car, and clip a bunch of flowers. Each time Mary placed the flowers in the pitcher, her grandmother's eyes would light up and they would have a splendid conversation. One morning in late October, Mary got a call that her grandmother had taken a turn for the worse. Mary was in such a hurry to get to her grandmother that she sped past her flower spot. She decided to turn around, had several miles back and cut a bunch. Mary arrived at the hospital to find her grandmother very weak and unresponsive.
She placed the flowers in the pitcher and sat down to hold her grandmother's hand. She felt a squeeze on her fingers. It was the last conversation they had.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, now after reading the passage, let's do the questions. Okay. The first question, there are 4 in this slide. Please try to answer them.
Let's go one by one.
Yeah, let's go one by one. The first question. As used in the beginning of the story, which is the best antonym for deteriorate? What do you mean by deteriorate?
Go down.
So what will be the antonym? Antonym means opposite. Opposite of going down is improving. So yes, the answer is
Improve.
A. The first answer is A. Very good. As used in the beginning of the story, which is the best definition for captivated. What do you mean by captivation?
Fascinated?
Yes. So the answer is
Fascinating.
B. Very good. Okay. She hated highway driving, finding it ugly and monotonous. Which of the following is the best way to rewrite the above sentence while keeping its original meaning? How will you rewrite this sentence? What do you mean by monotony?
Again and again.
So which will be the lines?
So first
Very good. She hated highway driving, finding it ugly and tedious. Okay. Next. Which best describes what the act of stopping for flowers on the side of the highway became for Mary? Is it monotonous, a ritual, or regret? Yes, it became a ritual for her because every day she used to carry those scissors, cut it, and get the flowers for the grandmother. Okay. What other title would best fit this passage? The Fall, On the Road, White Flower Poetry, or Living for Tomorrow?
Living for tomorrow.
It can be but otherwise it will be white flower poetry because it was related to those purple flowers that she was talking about. So those are white flowers, white flower poetry. Okay. Which of the following accurately describe Mary's personality? Impatient, drawn towards beauty, loving. It can be both. Loving, second and third. Yes, it will be both second and third. Loving and drawn towards beauty. Got it? So this is the way when we've read the passage, we've answered the question. We understand that, okay, this was there in the passage that they were trying to say. Okay? Now what we'll do is, now how many of you have routines? Do you like routines?
All of our employees all have
Okay.
Otherwise, Sundays we have no routine.
Alright, first from the audience, who would like to share their routine? First from the audience, who would like to share the routine? Come here and just share your routine with everyone. And if you like it or not, just share your expression about it. Can you come now? Just share, yes. Say your name and just share it with everyone. And what routine you follow and do you like it or not? Okay?
Hello, this is Dr. Suman Yadav from VIT Jhansi. As far as my schedule and my routine is concerned, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and then doing all my basic work. I make my breakfast and I have to get ready for I have to perform my puja and then get ready for my college. Also have to prepare lunch. And I go to the college until 2 o'clock. I'm busy over there. Then have my lunch again there. And then I return from my college at about 4 to 4:30. And the first thing that I want to go to my room and see my bed. Right? So after the hectic schedule that you have, I have to see to the entire house cleaning. Everything is fit and fine, especially my room. And then in the evening it's for the kids. I make them do the homework. And then again busy with the kitchen work. A little bit of kitchen work. I don't do all. But and then a leisure time, my TV time is there. I do read, but I'm not a very, rapid reader, or I don't do it daily. Okay. Which you said one must do it daily, but I don't do it.
Newspaper reading.
Newspaper reading. Okay.
Do you like your routine?
At times it becomes boring also, but you do find time in the evening and you can relax yourself. You go out. If it's a Sunday, then you break your routine.
Okay.
Then I do break my routine on Saturdays because the upcoming day is there.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, yes, can you come and share your routine with us?
Yes.
Please say your name and then your routine. And do you like it or not?
My name is Rita Swami. So I used to get up early in the morning around 5 o'clock and then I used to take a bath. After that, I have to make some breakfast for my kids and for the family. And then after that, I have to dress up for the office and attend the office. And then I used to come there after around 4 to 4:30. And then after that, I have to help my children with their homework. And then after that, I have to like watch TV and yeah, I used to read sometimes, same as that. Okay, and then I don't know. Sometimes it's very nice, but then sometimes yeah, I know.
So do you like routines? Or do you want a day
Yeah,
without routine?
yeah. I like to set some routines for my kids also. Like how long do they have to study and others, like during exam times and then for exams also. I have to set routines for them and for myself.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's hear from the participants. Anyone would like to volunteer and share their routine? Yes. Which college is there? Okay, yes. Which is this college?
Government Polytechnic Maharashtra से
Government Polytechnic Maharashtra. Anybody would like to share their routine? Yes, please volunteer if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, the one who's turning back again and again will come and share the routine with me. Please come close to the mic. Yes. There's a college.
The one with the pink suit.
Yeah, the one in the pink suit.
She's a great observer.
Yes. Will you share your routine with us? You can hear us?
हाँ जी
Pink suit,
JCD सिरसा
Sirsa College.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. We would like to know your routine. Okay, you can also share your routine with us. Yes.
See, as everybody has, I also have so many routines, and that includes the time I get up. That is a routine. After that, the daily activities, then the job, as all things are included in the routine. But
Okay.
sometimes we get tedious, we get very but monotonous. Sometimes life becomes monotonous, and at that time we want to change our routine. We want to do whatever we like, and we want to break all the routines sometimes to refresh.
Okay, yes. So there should be a day without any routine. There should be a day where there are no rules, no routines. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you pass on the mic to the lady sitting beside you? Yes. Can she share? Yeah, the pink suit. The lady in pink suit. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I can't give you.
Do you like routines?
Yeah.
Please
Hey,
come
ma'am.
closer to the mic. I cannot hear you.
मैम they are not speaking
मैं बोल रही थी but I cannot.
माइक ऑफ कर दिया गया एक्चुअली बोल हेजिटेट कर रहे हैं थोड़ा बोलने में.
Alright, would you like to share something of your routine? She's holding the mic.
माइक ऑन नहीं है.
Please put your mic on mode, not off mode.
Ma'am, it is just like everybody has, I too has the same routine.
You also have the same routine? Okay. Thank you. Some other institute can share. Anybody who would like to volunteer now for sharing their routine with us? Or who has something which is different from others?
Which can be inspiration for
Yes,
others.
which can be inspiration for others. Which
मैम
college?
जीपीसी अजमेर,
Ajmer College?
गवर्नमेंट पॉलिटेक्निक अजमेर.
Anyone will, please, anyone, if you want to try and volunteer.
Ma'am,
No, ma'am, we don't want to share.
And they do not want.
We don't want to share. We have something.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
You can listen me.
Yes.
Yeah. In the morning, I get up and then I used to go for a walk for 30 minutes. After that, I used to have a cup of tea with reading newspaper. Then after that, getting ready for job and preparing lunch and all. And in the college, after college, I used to enjoy watching TV and having a nice nap.
Okay. So
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
routine? You like your routine?
Yeah, I enjoy my routine very much. I'm very energetic.
Okay, thank you. Please clap for her. Thank you. Okay. So, everyone, when we make something a routine, it's important that we need to enjoy it. Similarly, it goes for reading. If we have made it a routine, it's important that we need to enjoy it. Now, I'll be playing a video. Just see the video and enjoy the video. And there's a song. Okay, in this video, there's a song. If you want, you can sing with it. Okay, and you can enjoy the song. Okay? Please.
मैम वहाँ से एक्चुअली ऑडियो में प्रॉब्लम आई.
नहीं वहाँ पे ना वो माइक रखते हैं, माइक रखते हैं.
I'm playing this video.
यहाँ पे रोक कर दें.
एक मिनट सिर्फ यहाँ से स्पीकर बंद करने पड़ेंगे.
हाँ जो स्पीकर बंद करेंगे ना वहाँ पे माइक रख देते हैं. या आप चाहते हैं तो हम आपका पेन ड्राइव में भी है ये. For the center, if it is more clear from there, you can put it there. एक बार टेस्ट कर लेना फिर दोबारा रिपीट कर लेना.
नहीं सर यहाँ से होगा नहीं क्योंकि वो दोनों सेंटर यहीं के है ना. माइक एक का ऑन है.
ओके तो आप एक पेन ड्राइव दे दीजिए.
नहीं मुझे मैम लिंक बता दीजिए मैं यूट्यूब पे यही सर्च करके.
It's there. The link is there. Just click on it. Link there. This is the link. Yeah.
मैम एक बार इसे चलाइए मैं देख लेता हूँ यूट्यूब में कहाँ पे है ना वो उस नेम से.
I'll give you the pen drive. If you want, I can give you the pen drive.
हाँ पेन ड्राइव में ये ऑडियो डाउनलोडेड है तो सीडी प्ले कर देंगे वहाँ से.
Just play it from here. It's November session and important to read.
We're playing the video. Please sing the song along. Just wait for 2 minutes while the video is being played. Okay?
But together we aspire.
No.
Why reading is important?
Yes.
दूसरी को भी डाउनलोड कर लीजिए कल को उठाएंगे.
Okay, please sing along. This is a song, you can sing along, alright? I'm playing it.
So many different people all around the world. So many different places, so many boys and girls. The places all have stories, the people pass them down. And as the children listen, the world is turning round. Oh, one world, many stories, one world, many stories, one world, many stories all around the world. In Africa they tell about a spider playing tricks. His name is Anansi, he's clever and he's quick. In China there are stories of dragons who can fly. They breathe fire, they breathe water, they rule the earth and sky.
दोबारा repeat कर देना.
Many stories, one word, many.
Keep playing it again.
We are playing it again.
So many different people all around the world. So many different places, so many boys and girls. The places all have stories, the people pass them down. And as the children listen, the world is turning round. Oh, one word, many stories, one word, many stories, one word, many stories all around the world. In Africa they tell about a spider playing tricks. His name is Anansi, he's clever and he's quick. In China there are stories of dragons who can fly. They breathe fire, they breathe water, they rule the earth and sky. Oh, one word, many stories, one word, many stories, one word, many stories all around the world. In Mexico they tell about a bird whose name is Blue. She gets some pretty feathers, but she gets in trouble too. In India they tell how some blind men came to see that an elephant more than it might appear to be. Oh, one word, many stories, one word, many stories, one word, many stories all around the world. Once upon a time, people told stories because they didn't have books or DVDs, no computers, no TVs. They were out by word of mouth, from the east to the west, from the north to the south, from Constantinople to Zanzibar. Folks told tales as they traveled afar. The Himalayas, Hawaii, Haiti, Hong Kong. The world's too big for one little song. We gotta keep on telling stories to keep them at USA. It's all around the world. That stories exist.
Login करते हैं, mic off. No ma'am. सर वो सिखाते हैं कई बार वो मगर फिर भी करते नहीं.
The tears and the laughter, we all just want to live happily ever after. In England there's a hero of history and fable. Oh hey ho, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. In Russia they tell stories about an evil witch Her name is Baba Yaga. She'll snatch you in a stitch. Oh, one word, many stories. One word, many stories. One word, many stories all around the world. In America, they tell how this land first came to be. When turtle brought some bottom from the bottom of the sea. In Persia long ago, they say the king had a wife. She told him 1,000 stories, and she lived a good long life. Oh, one word, many stories. One word, many stories. One word, many stories all around the world. One word, many stories. One word, many stories. One word, many stories all around the world. One word, many stories. One word, many stories.
Thank you. You sang the song well. If you don't know the song, you can go to the YouTube. The link is there. You can always refer to the song again and sing it. It's a nice song. Alright? So, you can find magic when you read. Reading takes you places. That's what we say when we kind of take this session on reading. We say, if you want to visit places, sitting wherever you are, just try to read about different things in the world. Because there are many things you don't know, many things you should know. Okay? So it's important to read. With this, I end the session. And thank you so much for being a patient audience.
We have 5 minutes time. If there are any question on reading skills, she has covered intensively the techniques of reading. What are the various kinds of readings are, from I would say, to scanning to intensive reading, and then how you can improve your reading habits. You remember that 5 points which she gave you: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and we find that really this kind of tips are very, very handy and very, very useful to the people. And somehow we feel that in India we are lacking reading habits. If you travel towards the West, you will find people make use of their fractional times. I mean, they have to wait in the queue for the bus or for the train, for ticket, or anywhere if they find time, they always carry a book with them, and then in the waiting area. In India, we have the habit of chit chat and looking around, and which is I don't say that is a bad thing; it's a good thing. But then the substance of reading is missing, and especially in our students, we are finding that more and more students, especially with now internet coming up, with WhatsApp and other things, first Facebook, and their reading habits have further deteriorated, which is going to tell upon their careers when they are going to face the interviews. And when they are going to face the whole world, awareness about the various things in the world. If they are able to judiciously use the internet and read the things, maybe through the computers, that can enhance their knowledge and understanding. Any questions, my dear friends? I don't want to start another session on this reading skills. Any questions? Any suggestions in your mind? Any of the centers have any question on how to improve your reading skills? How important it is to read?
Madam, I just want to know from you how to create interest in editorial articles and all those things, because they are very important for our knowledge and analysis and evaluation.
For that, you can always start with something you are into, your subject.
Because we always keep those pages in the newspaper, magazines.
For that, when you're aware of certain issue or you're aware of something which is like you can relate to, always start with something. Again, I've told you, always start with something easy and interesting. Once you start that, then it will automatically become your habit. So this is the way you can start on it and make it a
beginning is important.
Beginning is important.
Beginning is important. I can share with you my own example here. If you all of you permit, I take examples from my own life so that I can really share those examples and say with confidence that this is what has been possible. When my kids were very young, I used to take them to the book exhibitions. Whereas in Chandigarh, the first LTC which I availed was to Delhi when it was a book fair there. after I think 7-8 years of my 10 years of my service, was when my kids were of the age when they could read, start reading a little bit. I took them to the exhibition, and I told them whatever book you are interested in. I showed them I introduced them book. This is a coloring book. This is a story book. This is a Russian story book. This is this book. This book. Whatever you are interested in, even if they were not able to read, I will make sure that in the evening before we sleep, I will read a story to them, read it aloud to them, read a poem to them, read it aloud to them. When they were little grown up, I used to read aloud the editorial of Hindu. For example, the Hindus is one newspaper. I'm not here promoting any particular newspaper, but the Hindu editorial is very good for improving your English as well as your general knowledge. Yeah. It is recommended for the competitive exams also. So I subscribe to that newspaper, though it is not so popular in North India. In South India, it is very popular, the Hindu. I used to read aloud the editorial and convey in the meaning what the editorial is trying to say and what authority he has to say to write this editorial. What authority? For example, op-ed page.